All right, call to order, Miami Lakes Sports Hall of Fame Selection Committee, June 9th, 6:40. Sorry for my tardiness. Roll call?
All right. Dave Oliver. Here. Miriam.
Here.
Marcos.
Here.
Roman.
Present.
I'm present. Only unaccounted for is Mr. Holland.
All right, so now before we proceed, we're gonna open up to public comments. I don't think anybody's here, but we'll give it just 2 minutes. We'll give it a little less than 2 minutes. And then it's also nobody in the room, so we'll proceed and close open comments, public comments, so we can proceed with old business.
Okay, moving on to old business, minutes from our last meeting of November 20th. Prior to our induction ceremony are attached. We'll give you guys a few minutes to go over them and see if there's any clarifications or. We'll just need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Miriam,
Second.
second by Dave. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, minutes are approved. As submitted.
A question on old business.
Yep.
Has anybody heard from Ryan if he's, has anybody,
I haven't heard from him.
I don't know, have you heard?
I haven't. I've sent them multiple emails. I've never heard back.
I mean, I know there was rules that got changed, or I know you went to the quarterly.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, and that's something I was gonna touch upon. We have a lot of new committee rules. You can't miss 3 meetings in the whole calendar year. Unless excused. You can't miss 5 meetings total, excused or unexcused. Once you miss 5 meetings, you're also,
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to look back on the minutes to see what he was
Yeah.
past calendar year.
So,
You said 3 meetings unexcused?
So-
What would determine that?
well, not texting,
Oh,
whoever,
okay.
like saying, oh, they just didn't show up. You
I
know,
got you.
if you say, hey,
No show.
I have a doctor's appointment or something happened or an emergency,
You
obviously
gotta
that's
find
excused, then you're good. It's basically no call, no text, just didn't show up.
Yeah. Ryan should be made aware of those.
Yeah, well, they got sent to everybody. I don't know if you guys received the rules directly from Gina. If not, I'll forward them to you guys as well.
Yeah, I didn't get anything from Gene.
I didn't get anything either.
Okay, all right, I'll make sure that goes your way.
Which Gina's last name?
Gene wants,
Yeah.
it's the city clerk. She's a tumbler.
I know that Jim and I received the rules in paper.
The day of the meeting.
The day of the meeting. Actually, Clarice, I think might have sent it, but I'll double check and make sure that you guys get it. If not, I'll send it over.
Okay.
It's just basics, like they want to make sure that committees are attending, that they're, doing what they've been, instructed to do. And then besides that, it's pretty much the basic stuff. They are leaning more towards hearing the public out, which is why we gotta do a little spiel at the beginning. And then besides that, it's pretty much, routine, same thing we've always done. I will, proceed with Roman. We
Okay.
can keep going with the meeting and, getting going.
All right, I'm gonna take, I'm gonna move under new business, the elections towards the end. So that we can just review last year's ceremony and stuff like that, and then we'll come back to that. So in review of last year's ceremony, I thought it went,
I think that has to get seconded though.
was that the move?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to move the elections to the end of the end of the meeting.
I second.
Second by Marcos, all in favor?
Perfect.
Don't see anybody opposed, so we'll move that down a little bit.
Yep.
So next item would be the review of last year's ceremony. Any comments for those that were there? Any highlights, lowlights, anything we want to change for this year?
Did we send an email right after the event? That some of the things that we said, I feel like we did, so it was fresh in our mind. I'm trying to look at my notes. I feel like we sent Jim might have started, or I did, maybe because,
Yeah.
so it was fresh in our mind that we said, hey, these are some of the things that
I did.
you did, right?
Right.
You.
Yeah, see, I knew I remembered, you said stuff.
Yes, here it is, a review of,
Mhm,
I should have made copies of this.
that's okay.
yeah, that we wanted to, okay, so I'm looking at the email Jim sent here. We need to tidy up the congratulations letter from the town once we
Yes.
get it approved. That this year we didn't have the sponsor banners on the fence because we didn't have the fence there, or the sponsor banners like we did in 2023. So we wanted to see, you know, why that was, or do we not have the signs from the sponsors or whatnot? Contingency plan for rain. Are we allowed to use the clubhouse inside if the weather gets bad? Because I think this year it rained a little while.
Oh, did,
Yeah,
no,
that's
we
what-
twice,
Yeah.
Before.
It was
Twice.
a half hour before.
because we had to clean the seats and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and then I.
So
started
do we have
sprinkling
I mean, would we have a contingency plan on us to move inside if we needed to?
I mean, we could, at least this year we had about 40, 50 guests. They could easily move inside.
I mean, would we have the staff in order to build
Well,
like chairs inside?
we had 3 of, Brightview staff plus janitorial.
Okay.
And then myself.
One plus
Juan.
one.
Bring a chair,
We all-
put a chair in.
Yeah, we all.
No, I mean, the chairs are be inside because the ones we have outside are rented.
Oh,
So
okay.
I know Optimus has chairs that we can pull out really quick.
Okay,
Because we pull it out for Optimus meetings.
We would need to obviously plan ahead to see how many we need. Because at the center, right, like for example, right now, we only have 40 chairs. We wouldn't have enough if we're gonna have, 50, 60 guests. The weather was not good, and I think that kind of scared people.
Yeah.
Before. And even so, we had about, 40, I would say 40 to 50 guests, so the weather's nice. Alex doesn't pull out, we might have more, so, we have to take that into account. I think the max inside the building per rating is like 100, or 100 and something, so it'd be fine. So
And I'm pretty sure we get, a couple days before, we check the weather. before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then we should have it set up then if we know it's gonna be bad weather.
because then you guys can bring chairs over from Rolo's.
yeah, exactly. No, the thing is just preparing for that. But we should be able to move stuff in, just. It would be a ceremony and not a eating area. 'Cause
Yeah.
Correct.
And to
Yeah,
fit
you
all
wouldn't
those
be
chairs
able
in there, we wouldn't be able to fit tables and anything.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But that's more important than.
Yeah.
the eating area.
Right.
And we ran our first 3 or 4 ceremonies inside, so we never did it.
Yeah, I mean, the first couple were inside, were
Right.
indoors before we went outside. I mean, it's very rare that it rains in December, which is why
Right,
we
it
did the
usually
move
does.
to December.
It was 1 year out of 3, so.
Yeah, so. Now we can stay outdoors.
there you go.
Yeah, the reason we did it outdoors is because it got crowded inside and we
Yeah.
wanted to.
More people.
You know when you sent that?
I have
When
the
did I
date,
send it?
1/4,
1/4?
but I don't. Sent it. You didn't send it to Andres.
Gotcha, that's why I'm on there.
I'll forward it to you.
Alright, what else?
Need to reach out to availability of Alex Fernandez, Mike Cavone, and Ron Perry, who were all previously approved. To see if we wanna, I know you've been trying to reach out to Alex. Bilski ever answer you or no?
No. Neither Bilski have ever answered me through phone calls, texts, even email and not email, but text or phone, or Alex. I've called him for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Now I may have a wrong number, but it's the number that I have for him.
Okay, let me see.
Jan, let me know. Cause one of the guys that, one of the therapists at Fifth knows that family really good.
Okay, is that the owner?
No,
Okay.
no, it's one of the guys, Danny.
The text. Yeah, well, go ahead if you, whatever. But we
Yeah,
just
whatever we
need
gotta
to-
get out, see if we can get a hold of
Yeah, I should see him tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, that would help us, so.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Cavone never reached back out, right?
No, he is still, not feeling like he wanted to accept it this year.
And I know Ron Perry was the same boat.
Same vote.
Okay, so
He didn't
then
feel like he's qualified.
at this point, if they don't want to accept it, then
Right.
we move on. I mean, I know Alex was a health issue
Yes.
Mhm.
where the other two don't feel they're worthy, but Alex was a health issue.
Evidently, I'm, that's the only thing I can figure.
Yeah. So I mean, if we get Alex, then that's for sure going in this year, and then we'll have to see. I mean, I know I have one nominee. I know you'll have nominees because I know we discussed it over, and yeah, I think we just need to, okay, so we can go to the next item on your list. We need to get those sponsor letters out as early as possible so that we're not running around late looking for money.
Right.
I mean, we're still gonna have the 1,000 from the town.
As of right now, yeah.
Obviously, the
we're
budget
gonna
gets
I was
approved
gonna
now.
bring it up in the meeting. They are asking if we need more. I mean, the last 3 years, we've run with the 1,000 plus sponsorship.
And we've
so I
been
don't-
fine, so.
Yeah, so I don't know if we'll necessarily need more, just bringing it up that.
I mean,
they are
again,
requesting it.
if we can get a little bit more from the town
Throw it out.
to reorganize the wall. I don't know how much Fast Signs is gonna charge to redo the wall, right? We don't
Yeah.
know.
I can, all right, so I'll talk to,
So I'm
Fast
saying,
Signs,
if
and
we
then-
can get that from town funds to not have to take out of sponsorship funds, that'd be
Perfect.
ideal.
Right.
Cause I don't even know if we have money left over from last year, do we?
I think we have like $200.
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know. I don't think it was.
We put it immediately in the CD.
We should. No, I'm just saying, cause maybe, again, we gotta see what Fast Signs would charge to reorganize that wall.
Yeah, of course. All right,
So
so
if we can use the $200 that are left over just before September 30th to get that done, so that we don't lose it.
Have to do it again. Well, we'll have to be talking about that again and where we're gonna place it and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
So. All right, and then that way we can reach out to our sponsors for next year. I mean, obviously Ocean Bank is the big one because they're the title sponsor.
Right.
The Grams usually give us whatever they give us, and then Automall, I know. Gives us something. I'll get the in-kind from Bakery 186 again. He's always, willing to help us. I'm gonna talk to Game Day. Here in Miami Lakes, they want to be more involved in the town.
Good.
They sponsored my football team this year, and they're gonna sponsor me again next season, and they want to be more involved in the town. They're a sports thing, so they're like, the Hall of Fame works perfectly for us. So
Where
I'll
are
talk
they
to them.
located?
They're right, literally,
To the big
by
building.
NQC,
Okay.
the building right next to NQC.
Oh,
So like literally on,
yeah,
Go straight down that road and it's that big.
like 2-story, 3-story.
like yeah, it's a 3-story
There were
building.
offices. in there.
Yeah, they're in that building right there.
Contracting office in there.
Yeah, they're there,
Okay.
so. So I know they'll give us something for to the town. Right,
I know that we speaking about sponsors, we made a template, right? We made a packet for
Yes.
sponsors and stuff like that.
Yes.
We're keeping that.
I would say I
We're
would keep
sending it out.
financially, yeah, I would keep it
Yeah.
financial wise, I would
Right,
keep
'cause we
it.
added the other,
Yeah.
what's the bronze one that we
Bronze,
added?
Yeah, which is what Payway did. They did a bronze and they did some.
The gift cards and stuff,
like
and we
that.
gave them all out, I mean.
Yeah.
The girls gave them all out to whoever was there.
So I'll send it out, that packet
Mhm.
to basically everybody I reached out to.
Okay.
Jim reached out to Ocean Bank because you were the contact on that.
Okay.
Roman, the in-kind, and then.
I'll reach out to Game Day.
Yeah.
If you can just forward me the packet again so I can give it to them.
I have here, I guess from last one, that we had a question mark about Mayor's Cafe, since he,
I'm
do
gonna
we
read,
wanna send him?
I'll send it to Jeff Rodriguez.
Okay, all right, anything you send out via email?
I'll
just
copy you.
BC me.
Yep.
And it'll basically keep me in the loop.
Yeah,
And
Game
then-
Day, I'm gonna hand to him because I
Yeah,
go to him
once
once
they
a week.
respond,
So,
I know that it's there. I'll
Yeah.
put in a special folder I have for
Yeah.
sports Hall of Fame stuff and then we'll keep it all in order. But yeah, we should start earlier because I know that and Miami-Dade's Auto Mall, they only could give us a lesser amount because it was a little later in
Right.
the cycle. Same thing goes for the Grams. They give us a little less because it was a little later in the cycle. So
yeah, that
if
way
we
the
start
earlier we
sending
get
them out
them.
now, we should be 6
Yeah.
months in advance.
Cause like I know the one thing with, at least with Autumn, I think what you told me was that they earmark it for December. So they can't give us the check earlier because it's earmarked in their budget for the December event, you know what I mean? So. You know, I don't know if that's the same thing with the Rams that they budgeted for that month or
Right.
whatnot, so. I mean, obviously, if they give us the check earlier. It gets it out of the way for them and then
Right.
it gives us the funds to use. So obviously per. Per Rezo. Our date this year would be. December 13th, second Saturday,
December 13th.
which if everything goes well with flag football will be the November 22nd, so. Everything goes well. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, the month of December is usually shut down for athletics, so they should be done before that.
well, usually football goes to, at least in the past, we've always gone to that day. I'm
Gotcha.
trying to cut it shorter
Yeah, because
now that I have a say in it. To do the schedule.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to get done as soon as possible. I'm trying to condense everything, you know.
Yes, Andres, when you send that packet out, could you kind of send also the sponsors that we had last year and how much they contributed? Is there a
yeah,
list
I
there?
can send it to you guys. Yeah, I have a spreadsheet that has all the sponsors and everything like that.
This is kind of so we have it.
Yeah, I'm gonna start hitting up also at our Optimist Club meetings. So that we get more kids involved, whether they be baseball or football,
Right.
kids in uniform. Just for aesthetics, you know what I mean? The more the merrier.
You're gonna email all of us the sponsor packet, right?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
Cause I know if Fiesta Carrusel does any kind
Yeah,
sponsorship, they
they
give us a
do any-
discount of like $500 and
But then
then,
that way anybody we know that
Yeah,
comes up, we
100%.
get it early.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
so we're gonna look at 12/13 as our date for this year, so we can put that on the flyer.
5:30.
12/13 at 5:30, yes. 5:30 would be VIP, 6 o'clock start. The thing is what we do,
Did we start? at
Yeah,
6:30?
or 6:30,
well, we do 5:30
So it's-
VIP and then 6:30
6:30 start for the event.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
How soon can we do Eventbrite out there? At least for the sponsorship side.
Well, gotcha, yeah. Cause usually, like, title sponsor would be on our,
website.
yeah, it would be on like the Eventbrite and it would be like on the bottom of the page and stuff like that.
Brought to you by,
Yeah, exactly. So we would need these sponsorships. And then we can have all of that prepped and then, you know, it could go out. But I think last year, we put it on the, you know,
Social media.
yeah, we put it on social media, but we put it also on like the booklet, I don't know, it's
the flyer, the pamphlet,
the
program?
the program.
program, that's it.
We put on the program, but we didn't necessarily have a lot of social media posts and stuff like that. So after the fact, we did thank all our sponsors. We did like a wrap-up post, but leading up to it, we're pretty behind on sponsors, so we didn't really have those leading up posts with these sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah, is there a way? You know, I appreciated the guy that did our food this year, but our normal guy was a lot better. The guy that did it this year wasn't bad, but you know,
I didn't notice the difference.
I
I guess when you're hungry.
I thought it was the same guy.
I thought, it was-
wasn't.
no, I knew it wasn't the same guy, but I guess when you're hungry.
I
you're
guess
hungry.
it's up to consideration.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I'm just
I
saying,
guess you guys can, because I will say, the last guy, the one before that he couldn't make it was like $1,000.
Yeah.
And this guy was about 600. So there is that $400 difference. Again, if you guys feel it's best, we'll go with whoever you guys choose. But just, you know, that is a factor there.
we do need to reach out to Fiesta Carusel to lock in the date already for the tables, chairs and lights.
Yeah.
You got Miguel's number, right?
Yeah, I got Miguel's contact.
Yeah, I'm just saying so we can lock in the dates. My thing is locking in dates now.
Yeah, he
What
gets
what
busy
about
that
the
time
food
of year.
vendor though? Should we decide that too,
I
or
mean,
are they both cooperative, or one was better than the other, or?
the other guy, unfortunately, he pulled out at the last minute because he overbooked himself. Is that what, I think that's what happened, right?
Who we talking?
the original food guy, he pulled out at the last minute
Correct.
because he overbooked himself,
Correct.
you know,
So basically, he gave me
like a week's
the
notice.
okay, and then when I followed up, he's like, "Oh, I booked that," and I was like, "Okay, well, we were booked." You know, and he goes, "Oh, I have a lot of things and this and that." So
I mean, again, if this
Obviously,
guy's that
we-
much cheaper, then we'll keep the guy that did it this year.
Right.
We've got to reach out to make sure he's available.
yeah,
We look at-
well, again, we can already, I would say, start pre-approving what we
Right.
want to do.
Yeah.
Because 6 months in advance is a very long time. You know, there should be dates available.
No, 100%.
And people should be available. It's just a matter of, you know, what do you guys want to move forward with?
I mean,
Right.
definitely, we definitely need to reach out to the table and chairs guy just to lock that guy in because I know he gets busy with Christmas parties and stuff like that.
Right, for sure.
You know, so if we can lock in Miguel, at least with that. The bartender, I think we ended up having two because Chris got us one and then,
Yeah, so,
you know,
I
I think we're fine with one.
Yeah, we weren't, we never got the 100% okay from Chris
Correct, I was gonna say.
until after we already booked
Yeah, deal.
the other person. So then we had two, right?
I had a note that disputes that somewhere in, saying that at one of these meetings.
Yeah, no, you said you were gonna reach out to Chris.
No, no, I mean, in the writing. It stated that Chris told me that, in the notes, if I find it, that he could find, and that he would provide. Or would get a bartender. No, I gotta.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
the thing is
Well,
now,
the other thing is, we never paid him. So. if we
Yeah,
have
that was like a
$200,
donation from Chris.
According to the bartender didn't tell me that at the Food and Wine, but anyway, so. I mean, I think in good faith, Chris says that because he's a family member, but the guy that actually did the work. Came up to me and reminded me that he hadn't been paid.
Hmm.
So. I
From
mean,
Chris.
if we have $200, we should. I don't know what I have to find out what he should charge, but I think if we have $200, we should pay the guy that was there. I mean,
did we pay the other person?
yeah. Right,
Yeah, because I got the other person, so I paid the other person.
right.
But I didn't know. You see, I didn't know
Well,
what
Chris
was
doesn't know
doing,
that
what Chris
conversation because it was between the bartender and me, because he's the one that approached me kind of
Yeah.
awkwardly and then I said, well, we'll get you the money. He said, well, maybe it's okay. And I said, no, I mean, if you were saying you didn't get paid and you were there and spent the time, then we need to pay you.
Can
So,
we confirm with Chris how much we need to pay him?
right, I will.
Yeah, just confirm with Chris what we need to pay him.
I know we're not gonna pay more than $200.
No, we don't have it.
Whatever, what did we pay the other one? $150. Oh,
We can
$250.
250 bill.
Well, no, we won't pay him $250.
We have 200.
Right. That's the most we can pay him.
Yeah.
So,
Because again, the thing is, we never negotiated or we never really, got that conversation with the bartender that Chris got. And then from conversation that I had with that bartender, he said Chris was his boss. So then Chris told him, hey, come over here or something like that. So then again, I don't know what conversations Chris and that bartender had or didn't have, or how much he said he was gonna get paid or not get paid. So, I don't know.
So we just gotta find out from Chris, I guess, how much.
so I'll handle that.
Yeah, you just let us know. Otherwise, I think that's everything on your list, right, Jim?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else have anything from the ceremony from last year?
I think if we can get more money, that might be, because like, since you're talking about the bartending and stuff like that, for me. It's such a far way, because I remember delivering waters to people, especially like the inductees people, like, we gotta treat them like VIP that they are. And the fact that, I think like even the drinks, not even alcoholic beverages, water, soda is so far from where we put the tables. People don't walk back to get it, and especially with the rain and people being older. They weren't doing that. I think it just has to be more conducive, or like you said, if we had if we get kids involved, if I need to reach out to some of my students,
Yeah, I mean,
athletes,
I
like,
can have Junior Optimist more
you
involved.
know,
I mean, we had Junior Optimist doing the check-in.
right,
I mean, if we need them to do other things after, we can have them do other things. You know, so we can definitely look at that. That's not an issue. But yeah, I mean, you want to hire another person, we get more money?
no, I don't wanna necessarily hire one, cause what, right now, when you told me that the bartender was $250, I'm like, $250, like, they stand behind a window and pour a drink, like, it ain't that serious, we're not mixologist, they're not mixing anything, they're literally, yeah. That's actually, I thought that was pretty steep, to be honest with you. Cause at one point when the ceremony is going on, that it's like nobody's going to the bar, or no one's going to get a drink, so it's just that first hour or two that we're, doing that. I'm just saying, the more, like I said, like with the band and the music, the more we can get things that the kid, like you're saying, the community's involved and the people are involved around here, and it's like a community service project, the better it is. Cause now we're getting people involved. Now we're getting the young people involved.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can get more Junior Optimist kids,
I think the whole shuttling drinks, if they're minors, they can't shuttle alcohol.
No, not that, right, right.
They could only shuttle
Right.
water or soda.
Soda, right.
And I think that would be more than enough. I mean, if you want your wine or you're gonna have
Right,
to.
that's it, you're right.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go get it.
That's
but
on you, yeah.
I think, that would be,
Yeah. The high tops really were not used as much. I think sometimes even we over order, look how much food we always have left over. We end up like giving it away to whoever's cleaning.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know if, like right now when that you said the Eventbrite, and like you said, doing everything earlier, having the sponsorship, because I think I have here, I would have loved to put their logo. Let's say we don't have it shown, but like in my little centerpieces, I do the logos. Like I would already have that. That's something I can do. That's not costing us anything, but I think like you said, the fact that we're showcasing these people, we have to do that. But the earlier, the better.
Right.
Because we can do a lot that seems like we're getting out there, but it doesn't have to cost. It's just, like you said, we run out of time. The earlier for that, the better.
I definitely. Like tomorrow, I'm sending out the package already. I'm gonna also send the email to you guys with
Yeah.
that package so that if you guys see anybody, know anybody, give it to them and say, hey, look, this is an
Mhm.
opportunity we're having. I know that Baptist Health wants to be more involved in the town. I know that Memorial wants to be more involved with the town, Memorial Hospital. Obviously Payway was very happy with the turnout. I think they used the cards, like the people who actually went to use the cards a good amount, so.
I think I still have a couple left.
There were so many.
I'll hook you up. Yeah, they give us so many.
Yeah,
I think I have like
they give us
3 or
so
4
many.
left at home.
So Youth Co Sports, the one behind NQC, who runs that? Is that what it's called, right? Youth Co-op, or what's the one behind NQC, the little sport, I don't know, the after school stuff.
But that was like a preschool.
It's
No,
pretty
no.
cool.
Oh, that, you're talking about
The center.
the youth center is,
Oh, the Miami Lakes Youth Center.
Oh,
Something spot,
Okay.
isn't that called the
yeah,
Youth
that's
spot?
spot.
I'm sorry.
That's run by the town. That's one of our community centers where they host parties and our skate events are held there. Teen hangs, youth hangs and stuff like that. That's where the youth advisory committee or they meet there.
That's-
it's open to committees, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then-
Our HOA board meets there.
No, but I'm just saying flyers there, so like if kids are there, parents are there.
Yeah,
Like
so-
the fly, like if we make, besides social media, if we did a flyer just to be able, like you said, to have around the town to, like you're saying, to get more people.
Right,
So those are easy. They're
Mhm.
easier for us. Because obviously we're just print out whatever design we want to do. We post it. We have bulletin boards at every center, every park, so we'll put it. It'll basically look something like that, just in a center display. So we can do that as well. It'll be part of the whole marketing.
And another thing, the tree lighting ceremony is always big in Main Street.
Mhm.
I think if we get a little 10x10 tent there and promote, because people go, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on in the town, and that tree lighting ceremony, I think it's towards Thanksgiving, we say,
Yeah.
hey, we have an event in December, Sports Hall of Fame, you know, that's a good promotion there as well.
Yeah, and then we usually get involved with the Veterans Day Parade. I know
Right.
Jim walks the Veterans Day
Right.
Parade every year, so.
Right.
I know that, in the farmer's market, there is a table for, I think, like, council. Doesn't get used, all the time. So potentially maybe a month before or, you know, something like that, we'll go and say, hey, look, we have this event coming up in a month, come on, stop by, this and that. Might be another way to target people who are already in town and spending their Saturdays in town to come out to that.
Can you reach out to the guy from the food this year? See what other options he has. Maybe there's another
Yeah.
option he has. Cause I know there's other companies like Exclusive Catering that they'll do barbecue, like burgers and hot dogs if we want.
Yeah, I think that's good, and you know, like
Which
little
is
finger
probably-
foods and stuff, it doesn't have to be anything.
I mean, again, it's gonna be a little bit more expensive.
And a
but
lot of
like, at
people
case in
don't
point-
interact, So,
Yeah, I mean, like case in point, I know like Exclusive Catering, which I think town uses them also, because I know Hialeah uses them all the time. I think they give you, I think it's like $10 a head or $11 a head, but they give you a burger and a dog. So if you order for 40 people, really you're feeding 80 because you're either gonna get a burger or a dog.
Mhm.
And it comes with salads and it comes with stuff. It's an option to look at
Yeah.
if we want to get away from the paella or something like that.
Yeah, which is again, a conversation we would need to have,
Closer.
Yeah.
or not closer, or
No,
now.
earlier, because
Yeah,
you have to-
no, but again, we gotta look at prices.
Because again,
Can we reach out?
last year, we kind of touched on it, but it depends on what perception you want to give, like what kind of event is it? Is it a fancy sit down, we're having, you know, we serve wine, we don't serve, you know, we have a little bit of beer, but it's more classy.
Mhm.
Or are we gonna be more, yeah, this is, you know, because the food gives the perception of like, is this just fast, let's do this, and or is it fancy, sit down, eat a dinner, you know, have this meal. It depends on how you guys want to shape it. There's no wrong answer, it's just what do you want to, what's the image you guys want to give, right? But again, there's no wrong answer, we can do whatever.
The other option we have with this company, because again, I've used this company before, I know that their quality. They have an Italian meal where they give you. Let's see, I'm looking at their menu right now.
You see that? That's, again, it depends, because we have high tops, black tables, centerpieces, white chairs, you
Mhm.
know, I don't think, me personally.
Okay, so
Again.
the Italian feast,
These are-
again, it's $16 a person,
You know,
Right.
so it's a little bit more expensive than we're used to paying. But you get ziti, lasagna, and fettuccine alfredo, the choice of one. So let's say you order, if we're 70 people, you order for 40. Or for, 35 people, but you have 3 options of meals. Choose an
Right,
option. You don't have to choose all 3. We can feed 80 people off of 40.
Mhm.
40 at $17 a head, yeah, you're 400, 800, $700, $800. But it gives you all that, and also meatballs that are included. It comes with salad and garlic rolls for $16.50 a person.
What's the company name?
Exquisite Catering by Robert. Exquisite Catering, yes, Exquisite Catering by Robert. You know, they have more expensive ones, but again, that's their entry level Italian. Cause yeah, you can go for $18 and you get chicken parm or chicken marsala, ziti and meatballs with antipasto.
Is Gabriel still alive? Gabriel from Pampered Chef?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Okay, Gabriel, anybody ask Gabriel and say, hey, you promote your Pampered Chef and, you know. But I don't know if he's
I
gonna
don't-
beat that.
I don't know if it'll
right?
beat that price. Does it?
That price is a great
Yeah.
price, you know,
But
but
at $16.50, you get 3
Gabriel's a
different.
good guy.
3 different
Gabriel
options
started giving
and
away
meatballs.
wine, kissing everybody, and Gabriel's a great guy.
I mean, I've been there a couple times,
Yeah,
but again, it's an option we have.
Right.
If we want to change it up from Latin to Italian meatballs.
yeah,
You know,
I think that paella thing is not.
it's
not
running its course. I
running
mean,
its course.
how many classes have we had?
And then remember the time the guy was
We've had it 7
there
years in a row.
when things started?
Or 6 years in a row.
You would have had to wait an
I'm
hour.
pretty sure we didn't do it.
Your place.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it takes about and I know they had that issue when it started raining.
Yeah, they couldn't cook.
Right.
So, I mean, it's an option.
Yeah.
It's something to look at. I mean, let's get a quote. Can we get a quote? You want me to call and get a quote and I'll send it to you? Okay, I'll reach out to them, I'll reach out to them this week,
And
the
confirm,
date and the price and.
yeah,
So they can give me a
So-
quote.
everybody knows the date.
Yeah, December 13th.
December 13th, second week, so you guys can, you know, say, hey, we have this for sure date. Give me a quote for that date,
Yeah.
and then if we, approve. We'll say, hey, block it, hold it.
Yeah, and the thing is, they give you the sternos, they bring out the racks, they give you the sternos, they give you paper plates, again, we'll get better paper plates, because I'm
Right,
sure they're
right.
paper plates. But, so all we'll need is plasticware and
And
stuff like
people
that.
pick, yeah.
People pick a dish, whether it's ziti, lasagna, or fettuccine, and then go from there. There's a little salad and one carnival. Great. And it's something different.
Yeah, it's just something,
Mhm.
right?
And like I said, I mean, trust me, the pasta, like they say, lo cubano dicen, rinde. It's gonna give you plenty of food. Because not everybody's gonna serve themselves a plate of lasagna, maybe Dave will, but
All right, so for the numbers, because it's also on record and all that, so we got 2,500 from Ocean Bank. We got 1,000 from the Grant Company. We got $250 from Payway.
But that was in kind.
No,
They gave us money too?
they gave us
Okay.
money.
So
And,
it's-
and gift cards.
Okay.
And then $250 from Miami Lakes Auto Mall.
I just thought of
And
someone we may want to contact because they now have 2 operations in Miami Lakes. Is this possible sponsor in that we Baptist Hospital?
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to them because they actually came to us. They want to do some health
Okay.
stuff, pickleball stuff, so they wanna be, in this.
So our income was 4,000.
Correct, and then
Plus
total,
2,000.
correct, total, we had 5,000, which was 500 more than previous year. So we got $500 more.
because the town gives you 1,000, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, that's part of our allocated budget that the town gives us.
Vicky Baker, didn't
We had
No,
an
we
in
had-
kind from Bakery 186 last year.
186,
Okay.
yeah, the in-kinds were.
Yes, I gotta say, give us
Five
500,
Yeah.
500 in kind, and
Correct.
then,
Yes, I gotta send.
and then Bakery 186.
The
gave us in
bakery,
kind.
and then.
Anyway.
and-
Payway was a half-half.
Payway, yeah, Payway gift, and I think that was it.
So yeah, I'm gonna hit up game day. If you hit up Baptist, again, it's just,
Better to have more than less.
no, exactly. I mean,
And then. We have $259 with 69 cents left over.
you? 59.69.
Yeah. So that,
that's the math guy right there. That's
yeah, so that will be, we have those funds to maybe look into rearranging the.
Yeah, but we gotta see how, we gotta see the bartender guy and
Bartender,
see.
see how we.
But yeah, if we can get a
that,
quote
or-
from Fast Science to see,
Yeah.
how much it would cost to. Again, we can always go one day and look at it and say how we wanna rearrange it and then get Fast Science to give us a quote.
So I'll add this to my Excel sheet. I also have a budget breakdown of everything we paid for and then how it costs and all that. And I'll send that to you guys as part of the sponsorship packet as well. Just so that you guys can have that in your records and all that. But yeah, it looks like we've been doing pretty good on,
Finances.
at least from my records here. We keep getting more sponsors and more money and. So it looks good.
How about any nominees that come in public?
So I actually heard from our communications team that we've received any applications. I'm gonna work with our communications department to do another, it wouldn't be a post, it'd be like a newsletter. Basically, that goes on our website to reach out. Once we have that, I'll send you guys the link. And, we'll spread it as much as possible.
When we get that monthly, what's going on around town, can she mention it in there?
Yeah.
Nominees are being accepted,
Yeah,
go here on our website to nominate people or whatever.
yeah.
Cause that gets a lot of traction.
And then that
Instagram.
nomination, is there a criteria?
It's on the website, yeah.
It's on the website, okay?
Yeah, there's a form that they can go online and.
Fill it out and submit it.
Yeah,
to
that's
those sponsors.
where, that's the website. Cause that website's live.
Yeah.
The newsletter would just be a
Yeah.
refresher. Hey, look, this is open. We're taking nominations for this class.
But I think it's Jessica's her name, right? Because she's the one that does our photos.
No, Jessica just does photos. She works with Parks. Communications is.
They have someone that does like
Yeah.
something on Instagram that says, oh, coming up this month, we have this, and this. I thought it was Jessica that did that.
Well, Jessica's like the news anchor now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But she, everything runs through the communication.
No, that's fine, but maybe we can just get that mentioned on there when she does her next one. You know, the nominees are being accepted, go here, you know. Okay,
Yeah, because we would like to see more.
public, yes.
People.
I know Jim has his Bible of nominees, but
Yeah.
you know,
Right. We could always fall on Jim,
100%.
but
Big time.
we would like members of the community to nominate people.
I can leave this committee in a heartbeat as long as Jim's here. Okay, so review of leftover nominations. I mean, we
Well,
really,
before we get to
Okay.
that, is there a way that we can kind of back into our dates, meaning for these nominations to get approved with the town council, maybe off in the summertime at some point, then I just personally don't like to get up into September and October still not getting town approval or at
Well,
least the message
I-
out to
Well,
the.
August 1st
Is
is
the
the
deadline.
closure
so
of nominations. So
So is there a?
we can meet in
1st
September meeting of council.
Of council that
We
we
could
can.
get it on the September agenda for approval,
yeah, and then that's it.
and that's it.
Okay,
Yeah. Or now they're meeting. They are meeting the third week of every month.
So
Instead
even if
of
we
the
do
second
it close,
August,
yeah, so if
They
we go
still
to August,
get
we can try to
kinda
get it on
off
the
during
August
the summer.
council.
for vacations.
They're closed
Yeah,
July.
but I'm
They're
saying
closed July
August 1st is our closure. We could have a meeting. I would say August.
that week.
That week of August. And then I have to run it by Gina, to make sure the timelines are okay, but instead of meeting the second week, they're meeting the third week. So there's a buffer there where we could
Okay.
meet the first week and then potentially get
Get on the council
August-
agenda for August.
Yeah, the August agenda. Yeah, because I think the council meeting in August will be the 19th.
So if we close the first, we can meet that week and.
Yeah,
get it
'cause
on
the first is a Friday. We would then meet either Monday or Tuesday, which is the 4th or the 5th. And then the council meeting would be the 19th. So I'll get back to you guys and confirm if the timeline
Works.
is enough time, because obviously we have to present them with an agenda, which means we would have to
Have to
right
do my
after the
report.
meeting.
Yeah, I have to do my report.
literally just get our things ready and send it over to them to try to make that August meeting.
So that we have, so what I don't personally, that's just my opinion, I don't like to sit in on one meeting and we have to make that decision. I think we should, maybe even before that August taking into consideration the public. But the meeting before, at least start discussing some
potential.
people that have already been nominated, make decisions internally.
We can.
Then in August, if we see somebody that will rank higher,
Just a
then
final.
obviously we make the final decision there. But so far, the public has given us no
Absolutely.
input. So and that's why I would like maybe do it in stages, at least to
Yeah.
be ready.
I mean, we can definitely meet in July and go over any nominees that we have as a committee and then meet, like he's saying, that first week of August. And close it out in August.
Because that's just next month.
And again, the question now is, come August 1st, if there's no nominees, we already have a class.
We already have.
It's just
Right.
do the agenda item.
Right, and then we're okay with the town.
Yeah, the only time I can't meet is the last week of July. I can meet anytime before the last week of July. So,
Yeah,
Along
and
these
then-
lines, have we ever put a notice in the Miami Laker, which has 100% saturation?
We have,
we have,
Okay,
and we will.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
We could reach out, her name's slipping right now.
Linda.
Linda, we could reach out to Linda. Get that on the Miami Laker.
the nominees are being accepted
Yeah.
for nominations.
Okay.
All right, so leftover, what do we have left over? Do we have anything left over?
In regards to-
Nominations from last year? Was there
Well,
anything left over?
we had, Joe Weber from Columbus High. Was one that I had
Okay.
submitted a package for, And I may have, because I have a document here, I may have submitted one on Rivers, Denby, who was the founding, father of the Optimus Club.
Okay. And then obviously Alex is a carryover, if we can get a hold of him. And then whatever else we have for this year.
James Jones was, I don't know if he was ever nominated.
He wasn't because it's hard to zero him in to get here from here.
I've got a friend that works for him now.
Okay,
And he called me last year and said.
they were here a week earlier.
A week earlier, he would have
Yeah,
come, but I said, that's not the way it works.
it doesn't work that way.
You have to be approved and go to the town council anyway.
You know. Okay, so social media campaign we discussed, working on sponsors, we're good there. All right, I guess the only thing we have left is just the election. Correct? And you have any new business, Jim?
You know,
No.
next meeting day,
Well, that's after election. Any other new business on your guys' side? Okay, so now we can get to elections. We usually vote for chair, vice chair, and secretary. Current seats are chair myself, vice chair Miriam, secretary Jim.
I make a motion that we have the same three.
I
I
second.
seconded it.
Damn, that was quick.
You knew that was.
You knew that was coming.
That was-
I got forewarned on that one. I got asked over the weekend.
We should have one more, motion to Sebastian be our sergeant of arms.
He can be the guard at the door.
He's our goodwill ambassador.
Yeah, he is.
So we have a second, so we'll call the vote.
Call the vote, I mean, all in favor?
Favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm joking. All right, so motion passes, chair for 25-26 will be myself, vice chair Miriam, and secretary will be Jim. So we want to meet in July. To discuss, hopefully I'll have the quote from Exquisite Catering by then. Okay, so I'm out of town the week of the 14th in Orlando. And the week before that is 4th of July weekend, but we can meet towards the latter end of that. You want to meet like the 9th or the 10th, Andres? You need to look at
I'm out of town
the week of the 4th of July.
the week of the 7th.
You're out of town the week of the 7th?
Okay. Thursday.
Yeah, no, the third's too soon.
Third, the town, I think is,
Probably closing early. I'm hoping highly it follows your suit.
27.
or,
Let's do it, come back.
We have to do it then the week of the 28th.
let me look right now, let's see what's.
We do it, Jim, the week of the 28th.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
No, I'm just saying, would that be okay with you though?
oh, yeah,
Because if we close on the 1st, we can have our selections done by that, let's say the 29th. We'll have our selections done, and then if nothing comes in the 1st, then I can just submit the agenda item. We won't even meet on the 1st, and we'll just submit the agenda item.
right,
If Andres tells us there's no nominations from the public, we just move forward.
right.
All right, so I know Andres is looking at the calendar, so I'll wait for him to give me the week of the 28th. You good the week of the 28th? Miriam?
I
You
think.
back?
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm back the.
She's in Greece all summer.
She's gonna go do Mamma Mia.
Yeah, I think so, right.
So right now it's the 29th.
Okay.
That's 29.
It's like Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. But I have to come.
No,
But I had the dates, and then they're like, no, you can't have those dates. And
Yeah.
Yeah, once you confirm, just send a calendar invite.
yeah,
I can get it
29th. I
out.
mean, if we can do the 29th, that'd be perfect.
yeah, because I think the council meeting is a week before that, so.
Even close.
So we're,
Tentative 7/29.
oh, well. And what time?
But that's gonna depend on,
Is 6:30 better time for everybody? Or
for me, I get out of,
And I know that was a
6:30.
problem that Ryan had, if we were meeting at 5:30, he gets
Yeah.
off of work at 5 and then,
So do I.
yeah, it's hard for people.
Yeah, I think
6:30 is
6:30 is fine if it's available.
Yeah.
Yeah,
29th tentative, that's what
yeah,
you're saying, right?
6:30. And then obviously following that one, we'll set a tentative for like the 5th or something like that, depending if we get nominations. If not, then we won't even, we'll just go to the council meeting the 21st. Is it the 19th? Sorry, Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, Tuesdays.
Tuesday the 19th. Obviously, if we don't get any nominations, we'll finalize a class the 29th. Depending if there's nominations from the public, we can always adjust.
Right.
If we don't get any nominations from the public, then we'll be happy with whatever we choose on the 29th. And then we'll just go to the council on the 19th with that.
That'll give you 3 months.
And that will give us September, October, November to finalize,
Yep.
you know. Because then we can call people the 19th after the meeting. You know, we'll do the presentation to council and then right then and there, we'll call people
There's a council meeting on my birthday.
the 19th of August.
Oh, I don't know, November, I was like,
Okay, so at least we have a plan of action, of course, our action.
That meeting is set.
Okay, so the 29th,
Yeah, 29, 6:30.
Okay.
Here,
unless they change it,
unless they change it, which they would send us an email and let us know. It's
That's a Tuesday?
Tuesday the 29th.
Tuesday the 29th.
Yeah, 'cause I think Optimus, we're dark until August.
So you'll send us a calendar invite, so.
I already sent it.
Perfect, excellent.
I sent it, so. 29, yeah, so then we'll do the 29th. It'll basically be our election
Of
of
a class.
nominees of the class.
Of a class, correct.
And then on Friday the 1st, I think on the,
Website, I think it says 5.
yeah, I think it says 5 as well. If nothing comes in
Then
after
that's our
5,
class
I
on
would
the 29th.
just, yep, I would just say.
If we get nominees, then we'll get together on the 5th or whatever it is.
Yeah.
To, you know, to listen to the nominees. If we want to make changes, we make changes. If not, then we just move forward. Again, if there's no nominees, we know that whatever we choose on the 29th is the class.
Correct, and
So-
then that should give us more than enough time to get on the.
Yeah, we'll get those letters done, get,
Yeah.
Mayor Diegas to sign those letters and get them out by September.
Also, 'cause I wanna make sure that nothing catches up with us, right? Where we do everything digitally. With time, and that we can send everything out, you know, with enough anticipation where people, you know, don't all of a sudden say, hey, we can't. So I'm gonna send the letters that we sent last year, to you guys for that review. Because basically it would just, if we use the same letter, it would just be a matter of changing the name, changing the date, right? And then the second it gets sworn in, it could even be as part of the council meeting where they sign,
The mayor signs it.
the mayor signs it, and then we can send it, you know, the next day.
Because last year was a problem, right?
Correct,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the letter wasn't ready,
Right.
and then the mayor,
Wasn't changing.
Yeah.
He was running for, he was running
runoff.
he was running for county.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
Mayor.
yeah, the mayor had. And then it got weird because then our actual event was a different mayor, right?
Correct.
Diegas then won in the interim,
Right.
and signing it took a while.
Mhm.
But this year, like, I'm pretty sure we recommended that last year in the meeting where we spoke about, hey, it should just be signed the day that they say all clear. You know,
Right.
sign it there on the spot, give it to us, we'll send it out.
They all have to sign it or just?
Just the mayor.
No, just the mayor,
It's
but
just
the-
the mayor.
yeah, but the whole council has to vote
Right,
yes.
right. But
Yeah,
that
so-
letter can already be, like you said, drafted, printed,
Right.
ready to go, and he signs it, and then we
Correct.
can send it the next day.
Yeah, correct. And then after that,
That's the August 19th meeting.
Correct.
um. Yeah, that's,
School starts the 14th.
Right, I know.
That's the first Tuesday this week.
Why no?
I was supposed to be on Icon that week.
Oh,
Yo, it's a year into it.
okay, when it comes. We have to wait for council to approve to then get the shirts in
Right.
and do all that other stuff, right?
Yep.
Right.
but it's
So,
still way ahead of
The
time.
shirts are
More
least
than-
of our worries though.
Right.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, all right, for our next meeting, I guess the things that we should really focus
I'll
on.
finalize menu.
Yeah, correct.
Both
What we're gonna,
sponsors.
what we're gonna eat, like what we're gonna serve.
Yep.
Sponsors and
And
then
then nominations,
nominations.
in-house nominations.
Right.
Because I have
So,
one that I'm
yeah.
nominated, so.
So that meeting, those are the 3 items that we have to.
I'll get you an agenda by the end of the week.
Perfect. And then we should be good.
I'll reach out to Ocean Bank. You want me to reach out to the grant companies?
I mean, I have Andrea's contact,
Okay,
so I'll send it to her.
okay. How about the auto mall?
I have Fred's contact as well,
Okay.
so I'll send it to
I don't know
Fred.
who has the contact with Lakewood.
I also have the.
Payway was
Okay.
all Andres there.
Yeah.
And then I'll get, once you send me the sponsor stuff, I'll print it out, I'll give it to game day. And
Yeah,
he'll cut us a check on the spot.
I'll reach out to
You'll reach out to Baptist.
Baptist as well.
Can you try to lock in chorus and
Yes.
jazz band, jazz ensemble and the anthem singer?
No, we have to find a new person.
I know.
That was good too.
Um,
We have to try and see how we want them to set up. Again, that could be another, I guess, after,
the fact.
yeah, that would be more so for like our October.
Yeah.
Meeting. But where they were and all that was kind of far away.
Right,
Uh,
because of
The rain.
the
Yeah,
plug situation too.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, which we have
Interesting.
generators and we have stuff like that we can have ready. I think their biggest concern was the rain.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Question, Youth Activities Task Force. Is that another option that we have to have them come and help us that day? Besides Junior Optimists? As volunteers?
I would have to speak to their liaison.
Okay.
Because I know that I know they have a big pool of volunteers from local high schools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. That we could potentially, reach
Just
out,
think,
get
I mean-
them some volunteers in that way. But what would we need them
No,
for?
just to help us out. I mean, Junior Optimist, you're gonna have your 4 or 5 kids that are part of Junior Optimist. To do the check-in, guide people around if we want, it's up to them. I mean, I'm just,
Yeah, the reason I say is because we don't want,
too many volunteers.
we don't just want like, oh, 10 volunteers and then they're just, kind of sitting there, because the tables get set up, the chairs get set up, we have our centerpieces that we put out there, but I mean, they're the centerpieces. We got check-in covered,
Mhm.
unless we get maybe 2 or 3 additional volunteers just to be, serving people the drinks, but,
Do you need help? Because you were doing the
Yeah.
centerpieces last year. You need, if we had some,
No, that's fine, that's fine. That's not a big deal. For me, it's just the catering to the honorees, like for me, that's like for me, I think that's what we sell, like they're being honored.
yeah, of
Whether it's like bringing this, oh, can I get your table some drinks, and just the cleaning up afterwards, like there are plates left there, the cups are left there, and it just looks for me when I do things like that at school, I like cleanliness, and I don't feel like they should be working.
Yeah.
Or their families. I don't think they should be having to dump their plate. I don't feel like they should do that. Like that should be something that's us. We're honoring you. You should be doing nothing. In my opinion.
well, then that's what we should
Right.
have.
That would be
So
where,
then- so
that
then-
would where I'd be like you said, but I'm very specific too. Like, let's say we get 5 or 4 kids. Listen, this is your job. This is your role. This is what I need from you.
Yeah.
I would personally tell them.
correct.
Because I know Junior Optimist, we can give hours to Junior Optimist. I don't
Yeah,
know if you-
we could also give out.
Okay,
The
so-
town can give hours to volunteers.
Yeah.
Now, again, and we're talking about it early, which is always good. Yeah, I think this will be something we tackle more in October, but
You're just asking them, is
Yeah.
that something that you guys are interested in? Is that something that your kids are interested in? When you guys have your monthly meetings for the junior task force? What is it? How much involvement do you guys want in different town affairs that let's say the town pose?
Yeah.
Some kids are really involved, some
Yeah.
maybe not. Okay, no problem. We're throwing it out there. We're giving you an option.
Yeah, no, for sure. The number of volunteers is what we would have to hit on. Because then if we decide, hey, we only need 5, and then you say, hey, I got 5 kids from the junior optimist, we don't need to.
Yeah, I think what's important, what Miriam's saying, to give them clear direction.
Correct.
Because they're good, but you gotta let them know what you expect,
yeah.
right? Because if not, they're
Because
not.
last year we only had 3.
Right.
And then, they were at the front,
They were doing
That's
that.
it.
and
Right.
that's it. We don't really have more. Now, if we want 6, and we only got 3 confirmed over there, we need 3, right? And we just need to set a number and then try to get
Give
to
them the
that number.
expectation.
Well, 3 could come in the beginning and then 3 could come, a little bit later.
Yeah.
And be-
I mean, it's only-
to help clean up.
It's only 2 hours, 3 hours, I know that because of rain and stuff like that, we got delayed, but,
That's about it, but,
Yeah, and then at this point, you can also even send out to council and to, get it on their calendar already,
Yeah,
you know, the date, so
Mhm.
that we have,
Yeah.
we have
The
them.
commitment.
Yeah.
and this year, so far, they've been very good at attending things, so, you know. Yeah. I've had two events, three, including yours, but yours, I think what, you had two? Just Diegas?
No.
Not
Not
even.
a baseball name? No, Steve was there.
No,
For football?
for-
All I had was Hillsburg.
mm,
Diegas pulled out the.
We had
most.
like 3 or 4
And
for.
baseball, you had a bunch.
Yeah, baseball, we have five, I think.
Yeah.
And then at my other event, I had everyone except one, so I had six. And then on Friday, I had three. So, I mean, they're trying, but
They got a lot of events.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Like last year we had three.
last year we had
Last year?
Diegas, we had.
We had Diegas
Josh
Yeah, Josh was there last year.
and the mayor.
and
Well, Manny-
Herzberg.
Herzberg was there, and then Juan couldn't make it, so he had Josh speak on his behalf.
Right.
And then
I think,
Angela wasn't there.
Yeah.
I think that was it. I think it was just
I think it was,
Herzberg and.
yeah, the mayor.
Brian wasn't there. I don't think, was Brian there? Brian
Yeah.
might have been there. Herrera?
No, he didn't come. It was
It was the mayor and
mayor
Steve.
and then, yeah, Herzberg.
Yeah,
and then-
Herzberg and then Juan.
Sid was there as well. So I'll definitely put it, I'll send that, I can send it now, I mean. there's no-
Yeah.
And then like that, it's on their
On their
calendar and,
Yep.
you know, they can plan ahead for it. But yeah, I think we had, we spoke about everything we wanted to hit on, so.
Great.
Motion for adjournment.
So move.
Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Miriam. All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn at 7:40.
All right.
Gives you 20 minutes to get home with the band again.
Take dinner.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Go Panthers.
Tomorrow you'll see your therapist for.
July 29th, got that meeting.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Could you give me the contact information you've been using for
Oh, yeah.
Alex so I